the first thing I notice when looking at this inequality is that we have an x term on both sides. So in order to solve this, we're going to have to eliminate one of them. I'm going to actually eliminate the 3/5 x by subtracting it from both sides. And by choosing to do that, you'll notice that we avoid getting any negative coefficient in front of the x. If we were to subtract 4/5 x by both sides, we would end up getting a negative coefficient, which is totally doable. I just prefer not to deal with negative numbers when they're avoidable, right? So we're going to cross those out. And then now we're going to have 1/3 on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we need to do 4/5 x minus 3/5 x. Well, 4/5 minus 3/5 would be 1/5. So we're going to have 1/5 x, and then our minus 1/3 is still there. So our next step is to deal with that 1/3. To do that, I'm going to add 1/3 to both sides of the inequality, canceling that out. And now we're going to have 2/3 on the right-hand side and 1/5 x on the right-hand side. Okay, so our final step here to get x by itself would be to divide both sides by 1/5. Just like that. Now, remember when we're dividing fractions, that's the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal, okay? So we know for sure these 1/5 are going to cancel out. We've got our x over here, but what we're trying to do now is figure out what is 2/3 divided by 1/5. So we can do that on paper pretty quickly. Like I said, it's the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/5 is 5/1, and that becomes 10/3. Okay, so we have 10/3 here. And I always like to rewrite this so that our inequality has our variable on the left-hand side. We have our number on the right-hand side. But because we are flipping this whole inequality, our symbol is going to switch directions. So that is our solution. X is going to be greater than 10/3. All right, that's all for this video, and thanks for visiting JD's Preparation.